Guys, welcome back to our channel. This channel, Data Science, is all about trying to learn various concepts of data science by practicing a lot of questions. This video is in continuation of the series where we're trying to learn Python by solving interview questions from top tech companies like Facebook, Amazon, Apple, Netflix, and Google. If you're preparing for any of this role, this is a great series to follow and build your concepts. So yeah, let's jump right in. In this video, we are going to solve this question on status scratch regarding MacBook Pro events. This question has been asked in Google and Apple interviews, and it's a great question if you're preparing for data engineer, data scientist, BI analyst, data analyst, or ML engineer roles. Okay. The question reads, find how many events happened on MacBook Pro per company in Argentina from users that do not speak Spanish. Output the company ID, language of the users, and the number of events performed by users. So we have two data frames, playbook events and playbook users, and expected output is a pandas data frame with three columns, the company ID, language, and the number of events that occurred on MacBook Pro from Argentina. Okay, let's inquire about these data frames. So we have the first one, playbook events, where we have user ID, occur date, event type, event name, location, and device. If we preview this, this is how it looks like. And then if we look at our second data frame, playbook users, we can say that it also has user ID, created at, company ID, language, activated, and state. So just by looking at it, we need the language and the company ID from the playbook users part. And then we also need the location, the device type, etc. from the playbook events part, because we need to filter based on the device is equal to MacBook Pro, location should be Argentina, then the language should be not Spanish, right? And then we need to group by the company ID and count the number of events that are occurring. So obviously, since the information is in two different data frames, the first thing that we should do is we should merge the information. So what we do is, let's write playbook events dot merge. So playbook users data frame, and then on you have user ID as a common column. So here if you look at in playbook users, user ID, as well as you have the user ID in the playbook events table as well. So we can write on user ID, and then how are we going to perform a join? Since we are trying to filter based on certain conditions that are in both of these data frames. So here you need the location equal to Argentina and device is equal to MacBook Pro from playbook events. And also you need to filter based on languages not equal to Spanish. So obviously the method of joining should be inner join, right? And if I go ahead and run this, so if we look at it, we have the user ID, occurred at, etc., location, device type, company ID, language, and everything in one place. Let's store this in a data frame called df. And then if we look at it, we need to filter this data frame on three different aspects. Device should be MacBook Pro, location should be Argentina, and language should not be equal to Spanish. So let's create a variable called filters, which basically has all these filters. So the first one is take the device column, right? So if you look at our device column here, you need to make sure that your device is equal to MacBook Pro. Then so after this is one of them, and you also need to make sure that the location part, so if you look at the location column, it should be equal to Argentina. So Argentina. And also the third thing that we need to make sure is that the language should be not equal to Spanish. So we write df of language is not equal to Spanish. Okay, so these are the filters that would be created. Now if you pass these filters to the original data frame that we have, it is going to keep only those rows that satisfy all these three conditions. Okay, so now if you look at it, our output only has location equal to Argentina, device is equal to MacBook Pro, and your language is not Spanish. Now once we have this, then what we want is we need the company ID, the language, and the number of events. So basically what we need to do is we can group by the company ID. So group by the company ID and also the language, because we also need the language part, right? So we need to provide this as a list of columns. So company ID and then language. And then what we need to do is let's use the dot aggregate method that we have learned about. What is the final name of the column that we want? And events. And then how are we going to populate this column? So there are various events that have occurred. So you can take any of this column. You can take occurred at, event type, event name, does not matter. Let's take event name, because anyway we are just going to perform a count. So let's do a count. Since we group by company ID and language, we want them as columns in our output. So we need to dot reset index. Okay, now let me go ahead and run this. Let's see what do we get in our output. So now if you look at it, our output looks exactly same as expected output. Let me go ahead and submit this to pass all the test cases. Yeah, if you look at it, everything is green, and this is how I do it. Yes, somewhat tricky question, because we had multiple filters that we need to apply, but to apply those filters, we firstly need to merge the information. Then once we merge the information, we applied those filters, and then we grouped by the company ID and the language, use the dot aggregate method to create a new column called number of events. We took the event name column and performed a count. So yeah, this is how we do it. Let me know if there's a better way or more efficient way to solve this question. Let the solution be in the comment section below, and I'll see you guys in the next video.